2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12 lines down from the top of the Amud, Gimel Amud Beis. I just want to mention one thing. I made a mistake on Gimel Amud Aleph when I spoke about Tosfos, Mevat and Kohanim Me'aladas and Lishma Mikra Megillah. I was learning in Tosfos that it's only when you could fulfill both from his kasha. If you go back to the shir on Gimel Amud Aleph, Par 1, that's the sheet of the Ran. There's no raya from Tosfos at all like that. Tosfos' question is just it's not a bittul because you could do both. But he's not saying that it has to be, would be a bittul, it wouldn't work. That's the shita of the Ran. Comes up again. I'm doing this again on Amud Beis, and I realize that's not Tosfos' shita. So now just to continue, Amar Rava, shita li avoda Megillah Mikra Megillah adif. If you have avoda Mikra Megillah is adif. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Chanina. This is what we did yesterday. Talmud Torah Mikra Megillah adif. We did Samchu Shel Beis Rebbe. A third case we did yesterday, Talmud Torah, Meis Mitzvah Adif. Why? Oh, so now we're up to the fourth case. This is the case that we left off yesterday. Avodo Meis Mitzvah. If you have Avoda, the Karbanos, Meis Mitzvah, and you have Meis Mitzvah, so Meis Mitzvah Adif. Meis Mitzvah comes first. How do we know? Because by Nazir, it says by Nazir that a Nazir cannot be Matama to any mace. And then it says by Nazir that you can't be Matama to his father, his mother, his brother, and his sister. So why does he have to say that? It already says he can't be Matama to anybody. So Rashi brings down, everyone look at the Rashi, 3 lines down from the 2 lines after the wide lines. Lachos u'matamalomer, gabi Nazir ksiv al nefesh meisel yavo. Harei akol b'mashma, it's mashma everything. So the Sifri darshans each one of those extra words. Darshale b'Sifri. Why does he have to say that? La'aviv tells us that you can't be matama you can't become tummy to your father, but you matama for a meis mitzvah, for someone who doesn't have anyone to bury them. Then Li'imo tells us that even if you're a Kohen and a Nazir, you have 2 kedushos, then to your mother you're not tameh, you can't become tameh, but you could be tameh for a meis mitzvah. La'achiv, for a brother, tells us that if you're a Kohen Gadol, even though you can't be matama for your brother, you can be matama for meis mitzvah. So then the last case, Lachoso, also is talking about meis mitzvah. Rashi says, Al Karchach, we're speaking about meis. So what's it coming to tell us? Says the Gemara. Ulachoso, says the Gemara, Avodu meis mitzvah adif, milachoso. We learn out from the word lachoso. Titania. We learned in a brayso, ulachoso matamalomar. Why does it have to say lachos arisho? If you're going to do a carbon pesach, that if you don't do it this karis, and to do milah on your son, that if he ends up not having a milah, he gets karis if he doesn't do it. Vishama, and so it's a very strict cases. Vishama shemeis lomeis, and he heard that what? That someone very close to him, a close relative, one of the close relatives, mother, father, sister, brothers, son, daughter, died. Yachol yitame. I might think that what? He could become tameh. Amr lo yitame. We say lo yitame, he doesn't come tameh. Yachol, I might think, kishem she'eno metamel achoso, kach eino metamel meis mitzvah. I might think that what? When he's going to do these mitzvos, then just like he can't be mitama to his sister, so too he can't be mitama to a meis mitzvah when he's on his way to do these mitzvahs. Tamalomer ulachoso. It says only lachoso. Lachoso hu deina mitama. Aval mitama meis mitzvah. But he could be mitama to a meis mitzvah when he's going to do carbon pesach. That means what's adif? Meis mitzvah or carbon pesach? That means that meis mitzvah overrides carbon pesach. Boy Rava. Mikra Megillah Meis Mitzvah Haminai Adif. What goes first? Mikra Megillah Meis Mitzvah. Says the Gemara, Mikra Megillah Adif. So ask the Gemara, Mikra Megillah Adif. Does Mikra Megillah go first? Mishum Persumei Nisa, because Persumei Nisa. Oh, Dilmor, maybe Meis Mitzvah Adif Mishum Kavod Abrios. If someone doesn't have someone to bury them, that's the greatest Kavod Abrios that you could have. That someone's lying without being buried. That's the respect for Kavod Abrios, respect for the mace. So it says the Gemara, after he asked the question, then he answered it. Meis mitzvah adif. Why? The Amar Mar Gadol Kavod Abrios Shadochas Torah. Kavod Abrios even pushes away a lo saseh in the Torah. Says Rashi, and there's going to be a question on the Daf Hashavua test, so you can be sure. Rashi says, how do you know? Because some of the other Rishonim learn differently. Rashi says, because it says, when you find a lost object, lo suchel lisalim. You can't ignore it. You got to pick it up. But it also says that when someone's older, when he's a zaken, then you're able to. Then it says visalamta. You're allowed to look at it. You're allowed to ignore it. Why? When someone's a zaken and it's not in his respect, he's too old or too chashuv for such a thing. So then, in such a case, we say that he doesn't have to return the item; he can leave it. So you see that it's docha. Kavod abrios is docha lo sishivat Torah. So it's also docha what? It's docha mikra Megillah. Gufa, we learned earlier. Rabbi Shua Malevi krach v'chol samach lo v'chol nirimo nidin kekrach. We learned at the bottom of what? On Daf Beis on Beis on bottom, that Rabbi Shua Malevi says that if you have a krach, if you have a walled city, v'chol samach lo, anything close to it, v'chol nirimo, and even if you could just see it, even if it's not close, nidin kekrach. They read on the 16th. Tana samach afal b'shen nira. We learned that if it's close, even though you can't see it, nira afal b'shen samach. If you could see it, even though it's not close. So says, ask the Gemara. Bishlama nira afal b'shen samach. It's good the case of when you could see it, even though it's not close. That's an obvious case. Mishkachasa, we could find it. Could go into Yasab Rosh Ar. If the other city, if you're in the krach and the other city's on top of a mountain, it's far away, but you could see it. Go into Yashva, a walled city. Go into Yasab Rosh Har. El Samoch Afal Pishain and Ira. But when you have Samoch Afal Pishain and Ira, a close city, even though you can't see it, hey Chimishkach. So how do you find it? How do you have such a case? If it's close and you can't see it, Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah Sheyosheves Benachal. It's when it's in a valley. So therefore, it could be right here, close, but it's in the valley. Next, Rabbi Shua ben Levi. Now we bring another din of Rabbi Shua ben Levi. Very important to know that according to Rashi, this din has nothing to do with Mikra Megillah. Some Rishonim say it does. It has to do with Batei Arechoma. The halacha is that by Batei Arechoma, that if you sell a house in a walled city, you could redeem it only for a year. You could force the buyer to sell it back to you for a year. If it's an unwalled city, you could do it forever. You could do it always, but until you get it back anyway. But if it's in a walled city, by Yovel. But if it's in a walled city, you only have a year to do it. If you don't get it for a year, you don't get it back. So says Rabbi Shua ben Levi, we're bringing down different halachas of Rabbi Shua ben Levi. So we bring this down, even though according to Rashi it has nothing to do with Megillah. Krach sheyashav u'b'sofokov. Let's say you have a krach, a walled city, that first the houses were built u'b'sofokov, and only then. So it was first a non-walled city, an unwalled city, and then they put a wall around it. Nidon de kfar. It gets halacha of a kfar, of a village, and therefore you wouldn't only have what? 1 year to redeem it. My taima, because it says in the pasuk, v'ish ki yimkar beis moshav ir choma, that a man when he sells a beis moshav, a house that he lives in, ir choma and ir choma, and beis moshav has, the Ran explains, beis moshav has a patach under it. So that connects it with Ir Choma, and it means Yimkar Beis Moshav Shel Ir Choma. When it has the patach under Moshav, that connects it Samach to Ir Choma. That tells us that you sold a Beis Moshav that was already an Ir Choma. But if it wasn't an Ir Choma and then you made it an Ir Choma, that gets a din of a kfar. Next, so says the Gemara further. Shokul v'sov Yashav. It means that it was already shehukuf and then it was yashav. Next halacha. If you have a krach, a big city, some Rishonim learn that it's a walled city. Krach, until now, Megillah means walled city. Rashi learns, learns, and we'll go with that krach here just means a what? It just means a big metropolis, a big city. Because and therefore the halach is, if it doesn't have asar batlanim, if it doesn't have 10 people that are always in the shul for a minyan, Rashi says, nidon to kfar, it gets a halach of a village, and you're able to read the Megillah on the 11th, 12th, and 13th. Now, but if it would be a walled city, says Tosfos, A walled city always reads on the 15th, according to Tosfos. So we wouldn't be going, that wouldn't be the halacha. Here, krach means a big city. My kamash, when asked the Gemara, Tanina, we already learned in the Mishnah later on, daf hey, Ezo or Gedola, what's a big city? Kol sheyesh basar batlanim. If you need asar batlanim, 10 people that don't have a job that are set aside to be in the shul full time for the minyan. Pachus mikan is a kfar. Less than that, it's called a kfar. So it's the exact same halacha. Answers the Gemara, no. Krach etzrichale. The first case of Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi by Krach is talking about Metropolis, a city of commerce, where people come in, tourists come in, and there's constantly people coming in and out of the city. So therefore, I might think that if there's tourists that aren't working because they're coming here on vacation, but they're going to spend time in the shul, but they're going to be batlanim, they're going to spend time in the shul, I might think that counts, that it be considered asar batlanim. Says the Gemara, no. Says Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, it has to be, even though they're coming from somewhere else, it doesn't help. Why? Because we can't depend on them to be always in the shul. But the halach of the Mishnah, that's the case of an Ir Gedola, not a large commerce type of metropolis, a regular big city, where there's not people coming in and out. Let's say you have a walled city that was destroyed, and then it was yashav, then it was put back. Nidon kikrach, it still gets the halacha of a walled city to read on the 15th. So ask the Gemara, my charav, what does it mean that it got destroyed? If you're going to say the wall got destroyed, so it says that can't be true, because then yashav in lo yashav lo. If it got destroyed, then it doesn't read on the 15th, even if the wall wasn't fixed. Even if the wall wasn't fixed, it should read on the 15th. Vatanya, we learned in a brayso, Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yossi Omer, asher lo achom, it says in the pasuk, a kriyuk siv. A kriyuk siv is that the pasuk reads low with an aleph, and we read it low with a vav. Low with an aleph means no, that it's asher lo choma, that there's no wall. Low with a vav means that there is a wall. So we learn out from the pasuk, asher lo achoma, we learn out that even though there's no wall, but asher lo with a vav, it has a wall. It had a wall. Afal pisha ein lo achshav, v'hayu lo kol demachem, but it had before. We learned that it still has a din that you read on the 15th. So what does it mean that it had something and it got destroyed? Ella my charav. What does it mean it got destroyed? Shecharav me'asara batlanim. It means that it got destroyed from asara batlanim, and then it got it back. So therefore, the halacha is that you still aren't concerned that it's going to happen again, and therefore it still has a din of asar batlanim, that it's considered a big city. Thank you for coming.